Hi everybody, it's Doreen and welcome back to day 5 of the series Father's Day Cards with the Cricut. I made this card for my dad, so come on and join me and I'm going to show you how I made this card. Okay everybody, so let's go ahead and bring up the supplies so we can get started with making card number 5. Now my card measures 9 inches by 6 inches, and I've taken it and scored it in half to make it a 4.5 by 9 inch card. So now I've also gone ahead and inked my edges using the Tim Holtz Distress ink, and this is the walnut stain. So now what we're going to go ahead and do is add our top layer, and the top layer measures, let's see what I did here, 5.5. I'm sorry, not 5.5, 4 1/4 by 5 3/4. And I've also gone ahead and used my, I believe this is the Mosaic. Let me make sure. That's correct, the Mosaic Cuttlebug folder, to add that on my top layer. So now let's just go ahead, and I've inked the edges as well, and we're going to go ahead and put the top layer down. And I'm going to go ahead and open up my card and line up so I can look at it and see if that's where I want it. And then I'm just going to go ahead and take the ATG gun again, and we're going to make sure we get tape all around our edges. And we're going to get our tape in the middle. So also I want to check to make sure before I lay this down. I do have this piece here that I've taken and cut out, and this piece of craft cardstock, which is what the card is made out of itself, is 1 1/4 by 5 3/4. So it is also going to be on top, and I'm going to be adding some brads to that. So I can go ahead and lay my top layer down. So I'm going to go ahead and line it up. Make sure that's where I want it. But I think before I do that, I do want to go ahead and add my layer, because I'm also going to be putting on some brads with that as well. So I can go ahead and take and put the brads through both, and then I can lay it down. But I don't think I want to do that either, so let's go back to the original idea. As I've said before, I design my cards using my Gypsy, but then when I do the actual laying out of the card, I sometimes change the design just a little bit compared to what I've done on the Gypsy. I use the same pieces, but every now and then I change up how I want the card to look on the front of the layout. So I do have this strip that I want to put across for the top layer, and I've also went ahead and inked the edges with the walnut stain. And I did say that it was 1 1/4 by 5 3/4, and that's because it's actually a little bit longer, because I was going to fold that under, but I've now changed my mind. So what I'll end up doing is just cutting that off, or measuring it out to make sure that it is 5 3/4, because I wanted to go from end to end of the card. So I'm going to put that there, and then I'll just cut that off later after I've got everything laid down. So now let's go ahead and add our other embellishments. And I've gone ahead and I've made the little grill, because as I was growing up, my father used to love to cook out. So I took that and I used, once again, the Father's Day cartridge, which looks like so, and Here's the grill right here. I'm sorry for the glare. Okay, so we've cut that out, and it was cut out at, let's see, 1 3/4 inches. Now, once again, what I had to do was I had to do some layering with this, and I had to use my hide contour feature. So, first of all, this is key number 5 on the cartridge, and it looks like this. So what I did was I did go ahead and cut it out with the black. Oops. I cut it out with the black regular, and then I went back and I bought up another one of the same thing. But this time, what I did was I used the hide contour button. Oops, sorry, I'm out of camera frame there. And I hid everything and cut that out in gray. So, as I said before, if you're doing this without the gypsy, I'm not sure how you would do the shadow and the layering, because this cartridge does not have the shadow or blackout at all on it. So you have to do a lot of different layering and maneuvering to get it cut out. At least that's what I found. I don't know if someone else that has this cartridge found it easy to use, but I did not find it easy to use as the other cartridges are. But I still like the cartridge anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and I want to put that grill right down over here, because what I've also done is I've cut out a oven mitt, a spatula, and a fork. And the oven mitt and the spatula are from my kitchen cartridge, and they are located, the mitt is located on page 53. And here's the From My Kitchen cartridge handbook. And this is the mitt that I cut out. And then on page 44 of the same cartridge is the spatula. So I've cut both of those out at 1 1/4 inches. And the key number for each one of those, the key number for the mitt is key number 26. And it looks like this. And then the key number for the spatula is key 17. And it looks like this. Now, I didn't like the fork that was with, or actually I didn't find a fork that was on the From My Kitchen cartridge. So what I ended up doing was I took and did a search in my gypsy. And if you don't have a gypsy and you want to search your cartridges, you can go to my Cricut search, or I'm sorry, they've changed the website. It's mycutsearch.com, and I will put that in the video somewhere up here or over there. And just type in what you're looking for, and it'll tell you all the cartridges that have that particular image. I really like that. I can do that if I don't have my gypsy handy, or if I'm on the computer and I just want to look up something real quick and I can't find it even when I do the search on my gypsy. So now back to the fork itself. I took from the Going Places cartridge, and it is key number 37, and it looks like this. But what I ended up doing was I used the hide contour again. Let me get that. And I just hid the knife and only did the fork. So now in your handbook, for the fork, it is on page 118, and it looks like that. So once I had those all cut out, I went ahead and inked my edges with the Tim Holtz Distress Ink, the walnut stain. And then I decided that I wanted to sit up on a circle over here. So I just took my my paper shapers, 1 3/4 inch circle punch, and I took some of the cardstock or the packaging that my tiny attacher came with, and I liked the blue that was in there, so I just punched that out. So don't always throw everything away, because you can always use it for something else. At least that's what I try to do. So that's going to lay like so. And then the last embellishment that I cut out was I cut out the best dad ever, because my dad is the best dad ever. And I used the Father's Day cartridge once again to cut that out. And this was cut out at 1.5 inches. And that is, let's see, key number 42, which is this right here. And I kind of took it and widened it a little bit because I wanted it just a little bit wider. It's kind of narrow. So to do that, I took off the auto ratio button and just made it as wide as I wanted. Now for the underlay underneath, I kept that, which looks like that, and that's key number 45. I kept that at 1.5, but I didn't widen it because I wanted the little space in between there. So that's how I did that. And that's going to be sitting right along here. So my card's going to look like this once I get everything laid down. So real quickly, I'm going to go ahead and I want to move this over. And I'm going to cut this off because I want to go ahead and add my brads. And I'm going to move this down just for a second and off of the paper because I don't want to cut my paper that I used. So there. So now that's been cut down. And I just took this piece and ran it through my crimper. And I have a smaller one, except I just can't find it. It's a good thing you can't see my craft room right now because it is really, really messy. And that's probably why I can't find it. It's probably somewhere hidden right in my face. Or it's not hidden, it's right in my face. I just can't find it. So, I'm going to lay this down. And I'm going to go ahead and once again, I'm going to use my crocodile to add my brad, and I'm going to eyeball this again and punch my hole, and I'm just going to go ahead, make sure I get that out, and I'm going to go ahead and punch my second hole. And I'm just eyeballing again. And then I'm just going to go ahead and add my brad. So now what I'm going to do is, it looks my strip is a lot shorter. So I'm going to take my wire cutters and see if I can cut that off. didn't cut off as much as I wanted, so these scissors will cut anything. There we go. So now, let's go ahead and add the other brad. And I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm going to use the Tim Holtz scissors again since they seem to cut anything. There we go. So now we can go ahead and we can add this. But I'm going to put this down because I want to make sure that I get this lined up where I want it. And once again, I'm going to take a pencil and mark where I want it, which is right here. And then we'll take our ATG gun and get some tape on there. And get it down the middle. And then I'm going to take my glue gun and get some glue on the edges and along where those brads are. And then we can go ahead and lay it down. And then we'll get this tape up using the adhesive remover. So now I'm going to find my pencil mark. And I'm going to lay it down. There. So now we have that down, and we'll just take the adhesive remover and get that tape off the edge there. Okay, so for my best dad ever, I do want this to pop up. So I'm going to go ahead and add some foam tape in the middle. And then we'll peel off the tape. And now we'll go ahead and add this down to the card. So there we have that. So now we'll just go ahead and add the round circle with the mitt, the spatula, and the fork. And I've also popped that up on some foam tape. And I've also popped it up as well on the mitt, the spatula, and the fork. Because I really wanted that to pop up. And then we'll go ahead and take the foam tape off the grill. And we'll add that to the card. And I don't know if I want to lay it, oh, I guess we'll lay it straight up and down. And I think with this one, I'm going to pop this up and take it off because I kind of want to put that in an angle rather than just being up, straight up and down. So there you have it. Now for my inside sentiment of the card, it's kind of personal to my dad, so I'm not going to go ahead and read that one. But now we have the card completed. So this is card number 5 of the Father's Day cards with the Cricut. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye. Okay, I'm back. And as you can see, the card looks different. I decided I really didn't like the way that looked after I laid it down and everything. So I went back and pulled everything up and changed the look just a little bit. That's what crafting is all about. Being able to design and change it if you don't like it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.